The September 10th meeting of the Dudley Planning Board. At this time, I'd like to notify everyone that this meeting is being recorded and ask everyone to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First item on the agenda under new business, approval of minutes for July 9th and August 13th. Oh, actually, at this time, I'd like to make note that members, Mr. Durgan and Mr. Horn, are not currently present. Braden, did you hear from Guy? Did he say whether or not he was? Guy Horn? No? Okay, all right. All right, once again, approval of minutes, July 9th and August 13th. Chair will entertain any motions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, having scanned them briefly, I would ask that we approve the meeting minutes for July 9th, 2025 as presented.
All right, we have a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
3-0.
Unanimous, 3-0. And next would be August 13th. Chair will entertain a motion or any discussion regarding approval of minutes for August 13th.
Yeah, Guy Horn mentioned that Dave's vote didn't count, and I guess it does count on the sawmill.
Well, and what's that based on?
Town clerk, Lori,
What do you have for documentation to submit at
there
this
was
time?
an email.
Can I have a copy of the email?
No, I'll get it for you though.
Okay, so
So,
what do you want to do?
well,
This is the minutes.
Yeah,
yeah, I'd like to move,
this is a
move
record
this
of
to the next meeting.
Well, this is a record of what happened at the meeting. If you dispute what happened at the meeting, that's kind of an after-the-fact sort of situation.
Yeah, in other words, this is a record of what actually happened at the meeting. It's independent of,
Yeah, but it says it passed and it didn't pass.
Yeah, admittedly, but I mean, it is, again, I think as the chair has mentioned, this is a recording or record of what happened
Yeah,
at the meeting.
This is a record.
And your question is something subsequent to the meeting, after the meeting, if you will. But it doesn't change what happened during the meeting.
Yeah, it was just nobody voted, should say it didn't pass. Should be documented like that. Anybody that looks it up is gonna see. All right, I'm gonna vote against that, August 13th.
well, we're not even taking a vote yet. Nobody's even
No,
made a
we have no
motion to
motion.
approve it.
No, I will make a motion to approve the August 13th, 2025 meeting minutes as presented.
All right, given the contention, I guess I'm not going to second it.
Okay, so we'll take.
So the motion fails.
We'll have to pick that up next time.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Or, yeah, so we'll bring it up next time. Unless Guy shows up, but, yeah. Okay, next item on the agenda is an A&R for Samantha Costello of 50 Center Road. Is there anyone here to represent Ms. Costello?
All right, good evening. For the record, my name is Zach Less from Existing Grade, representing the applicant Samantha Costello at 50 Center Road in Dudley. So a Form A A&R was submitted to the planning board, which is purposed to convey a 4,400 square foot triangle piece of land from 64 Center Depot Road to 50 Center Depot Road. The existing driveway has been reconfigured and reconstructed, and during construction, the driveway went over the property line onto the abutters. So the purpose of this conveyance of land is to ensure that 50 Center Depot Road owns entirely the entire driveway, and that we're not accomplishing it through easements. So it's a simple conveyance of land just to ensure the driveway stays on the property that it's intended for.
Excuse me.
Center
Braden,
Road.
those the plans?
Oh, that may help.
Yeah, I was wondering, yeah.
Did you say Depot Road?
Sorry, Center Road,
Center Road.
50
Okay.
Center Road. Too many things going on in my head.
Okay. This is the Mylar. So set that off to the side. Pass that down to Tom. These off to the side.
Again, for clarity's sake, while you're looking at the plan right now, 50 Center Road is it's an existing rear retreat lot that kind of has a 50-foot wide strip of land that runs through it. And there's been some contention with 52 and 50, so the driveway was reconfigured to run along that kind of pork chop strip as it goes up and around 52. Again, the driveway had crossed over the property line. There's a little triangle piece right there that we're intending to convey. That's 4,400 square feet. The old lot lines are represented with dashed lines with a notation on them to be removed. So again, the intent is to take that little triangle piece of land from 62 and convey it to 50 to wholly encompass that driveway.
All right, so it's a simple parcel swap.
Correct.
At this time, I'd like to mention that Mr. Gless is here representing this applicant. He has represented in Sophie's Way. However, I do not know this applicant and have no relationship to this applicant, so it's just a point of reference. I'm letting you know that there is commonality there, but it does not affect my ability to vote on this particular matter.
Noted. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So do the board members have any questions?
And if I could add to that real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but there are two waivers being requested with this. One of them is to reduce the required plan scale size from a 40 scale to a 60 scale, and to eliminate the requirement of an existing center line profile for the driveway, as the main entrance of the driveway and everything's already there. It's not an access issue at this point.
Okay, so we should have yep, we've got Form A here, and we should have the A&R checklist due. So, yep, applicant is looking for a waiver of 6B, scale of the drawing, and a waiver of 6J, profile of existing grades of the proposed access to the lot. Well, that seems like a no-brainer that we don't have to worry about that. This is a triangle and, right, so, if there are no further questions, is there anybody here in the audience that has any questions about this A&R? I'll say that again. Anybody here that has any questions about the A&R for 50 Center Road? Okay, seeing no one from the public here,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the waivers as requested.
okay,
I'll second it.
all right, we have a motion that's been seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous, 3-0 on approval of the waivers. This time, the chair will entertain a motion on approval of the A&R as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous, 3-0.
Perfect. Thank you. I will have the applicant come and pick that up after it's been signed.
What?
I'll have the applicant come in and pick up the signed Mylar later.
Sign it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can take it with me if that's easier too, so.
So I'm gonna bring the A&R up to the big table to make it easier for us.
Need two copies and Mylar, is it?
Yep. Sharpie?
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Agenda. All right. Next item on the agenda is standard business. Discussion and status report on finishing construction of and acceptance of uncompleted, unaccepted subdivision streets, including Pierpont Estates, Country View Estates, Lyons Estates, and Sophie's Way. We've got nothing on Pierpont Estates right now. I know that they're still working on their final things.
It looked pretty done up there.
I know, I haven't spoken to him in a while, so I don't know whether or not he's, I know they had the as-built done for the first phases, but I think they were still working on the as-built for the final phase.
I drove through there, it looked pretty much done.
I know there was a street light that he was waiting on. That was the last thing I remember discussion about. Just let the record note that member Guy Horn is joining us. Hi, Guy. How you doing? We've already approved the A&R and approved the meeting minutes. We passed on the meeting minutes for August 13th.
Excuse me, Jim, do you know, did they open the warrant for the next town meeting, October, selection?
I believe they did at this previous,
They were gonna do that this week, Monday.
I think they did.
So if he had any thoughts of doing anything with that in October, I don't know. It's- Time marches on.
Yeah. All right, so we're on standard business. Country View Estates, Eisenhower Drive, nothing there right now, nothing new, unless one of the other members have heard it, something. Okay. Lyons Estates, Mr. Clark and I were just discussing that. I did a site visit last Friday, just out of curiosity. I saw that they had done the asphalt sidewalks, and they were in the process of doing landscaping today. I saw emails going back and forth between the residents and the developer's representative. And I guess the plan is for there to be hydro seeding done on Friday. And that's all I've got on that, unless somebody else has anything to add.
As I may have mentioned to you earlier in the conversation, I drove through there today and noticed there were several, and I estimate maybe 6 to 8 different piles of topsoil in the roadway, so that the roadway is effectively just down to one lane. And obviously, they were working on the landscaping in front of a number of the residences, so.
Okay. So hopefully that'll be resolved and ready for them to hydro seed on Friday?
Something is happening up there.
Something is happening.
When it's finished is another good question.
Gotcha.
I do have concern, however, I'm just looking at our subdivision rules and regulations, page 36 specifically in regards to sidewalks. I think there are some things noted in the site report presented by Graves that are at variance with what we identify as our rules and regulations. I know we gave them some relaxation in that the rules and regulations say that the sidewalks will be installed on both sides of all ways, and obviously it's only on one. So we gave them some.
Give them the waiver on that,
Right,
yeah.
Right. But I think they may have taken a little license with some of the other issues that are specifically called out here. In regards to that grass strip specifically.
Yeah, my understanding is that they narrowed the grass strip and moved the position of the sidewalks actually in favor of the, I don't know if you recall, Mr. Clark, but we had the residents come in that
We did.
time, and they were actually concerned that they thought that more of their yard was being taken away by sidewalk.
Yep.
And we explained that that was in the right of way.
I think they kept that sidewalk in the right of way is what it looked like.
Yeah,
I've seen that in the Gray's report too, you mentioned that.
yeah. And I guess there was a problem with whoever did the grading of the driveways on a couple of those, or more, I don't know how many lots, that the problem would be if they had push the sidewalks back further from the
Oh, yeah.
road.
I think number 5 is the worst case, the greenhouse on the left as you enter the property.
Yeah, I don't remember I don't remember that,
That
but I
seemed to
remember.
be the most,
Yeah,
the largest disruption in terms of the front.
The problem they're gonna have now is with the sidewalks being so close to the road, when they plow the road, all the snow is gonna go onto the sidewalk.
Sidewalk, yeah.
And you need to maintain the sidewalks if it's in front of your house.
there is a strip there.
Yeah, but it's
It's-
only 2 feet.
Okay.
It's
I don't
supposed to
even
be
know
like
if it's
5 or 6, and
2
if
feet.
you have a 5 or 6 foot grass strip, that's where the snow goes, and then you're, basically, when you're shoveling the sidewalk or clearing the sidewalk, you're only clearing away the snow that fell in the snowfall, not all the snow that came off the road.
I guess the question is, how do you resolve it without narrowing the sidewalks?
Or take.
In other words, if you gotta have, the sidewalks have to be because of ADA compliance, right?
Right.
The sidewalk's gonna be a certain width.
4.5.
So if you move it in further so you have that wider strip, well, for one thing, the residents don't like it because it pushes the sidewalk into what they believe is their yard, even though it's in the
not,
right of
but
way,
it's- yeah.
right? And the second issue is, on some of those houses, because of the grade of the driveway, you'd almost have like a retaining wall there. So,
These are things that should have been
If
considered
the
much
resident-
earlier on.
yeah, if the residents don't have, I guess we'd have to hear from the residents and hear what their
Yeah.
final take is, once
I mean,
it's done.
They're gonna just have, it's the same situation that's at my street. There's only a 2 foot grass strip, and because of that, you end up with all the snow plowed into the sidewalks, and then when you clear the sidewalks, you're basically clearing everything from the road to the sidewalk.
Right. No, I get your point. I just
And you are required to clear your sidewalks. So,
don't know what the resolution would be at this point.
no snow.
You might get that. Yeah, global warming, right. All right.
Well, we'll see what the final product looks like, but obviously there's work being done, so let's hope for the best.
Yeah,
Okay,
be happy they didn't walk away. At that point.
yeah, that's right. And then Sophie's Way, there's nothing new to report there. Next, we can move on to inspections and actions associated with site plans. We have Legacy Landing, Country Club Acres. Mr. Clark, you've got a bird's eye view there, so I defer to you.
Well, just an observation, as an abutter, I have to recuse myself, but with regards to Country Club Acres, there's new signage that they have put up. They've indicated the pathway, the walkway around the property that we had requested as part of a natural.
Open space.
Native environment, and that it be restricted to resident, well, the reading is non-resident dogs restricted. or
Non-resident dogs.
Dogs.
That's clever.
That's new.
So if they said residents only, we would say that they're in violation.
There, in talking to the gentleman who is, as I understand, is president of the HOA, there was some consideration that they were trying to make another restriction with regards to who would have access to that. Again, the way the signage is set up, you don't really know that you even have access to that trail. It's, the signs are, private property, pretty much keep out, and the parking for the trail, if you will, is beyond the sign.
signs.
And there's nothing indicating that that is in fact visitor parking or public parking.
Who put these signs up?
In a public
The
way.
HOA, apparently. Now, the rationale, as it was explained to me, is a number of the residents have small dogs. And there are some folks in the neighborhood who have large dogs, who were using that walkway. And I guess the dog-on-dog matchup didn't work too well in some cases. So they're trying to keep the bigger dogs,
Okay.
which are the non-resident dogs, from access to the property.
That's not an argument. I mean, what if one of the residents gets a big dog and?
No, I don't think you can, if it's open to the public,
Yeah,
it's
you
open
can't
to the public.
restrict them.
Well, that's the latest restriction. Again, we had issues, if you recall, we had an issue with the original sign which said private way,
Right.
and no access, and it's 15 miles an hour or whatever. And now they've got this other sign that they've appended to the same sign.
But the developer didn't put any of these signs up. This is something that just the HOA
This
just
apparently
decided.
is the HOA.
Yeah, okay. And are they on posts that are like permanently mounted or? Because I'm wondering about,
Well, They're in pretty good shape. I mean, they will survive the winter, yeah, but, I mean, it's a metal sign, and it's on a metal post. It's not a large sign, but it's certainly visible.
You think that metal post is set in concrete? Do they actually have
Oh, I don't think they're in concrete.
somebody come in
It
and?
doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, you just can't be posting your own rules and regulations
Oh,
when
no,
it's a public way.
I understand, Mr. Horn, I'm just trying to ascertain how permanent they made these signs, because,
Anything can be taken down.
If I may, if you have a moment, I may.
but just interesting that you would
Here we go.
spend the money on something like that, that is not even, oh, yeah. Oh, okay, that's one of those, what do they
Yeah.
call that, channel, like stop signs use.
They just added it to the bottom section.
So they
it says
probably just
private property,
pounded that into
private
the
community,
ground.
no trespassing, speed limit 15, non-resident dogs not allowed. I don't know how they're gonna enforce that.
You can't.
Well, I mean.
I mean, it's like you would be saying that somebody couldn't walk their dog on a sidewalk on a public street because
Because
that
you don't
trail
want
is
their,
public property.
I guess it's a question of how bad how do we feel about it as the planning board? Do we want to send the HOA a letter and inform them that they
They can't-
technically aren't supposed to be putting that sign up?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can't be making that kind of rules.
yeah.
Well, if we're gonna do that, then technically the other sign needs to be at least amended
Yeah,
to
Oh,
let people know
yeah,
there's some
I agree.
public access there. So there's, again, I'm.
We put it in the
I think I'm
form?
in a recused situation right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I
it's
forgot.
not done, it's not done yet. So I mean, like, before we give any money back to the developer, we'll have to have the developer take care of this. I mean, like, if the HOA is just doing this on their own, then the developer's gonna have to tell them.
Yeah.
Take it down.
The irony being that the HOA is not gonna care if we hold the developer's money.
Well,
So, yeah, what's the board's pleasure? Do we wanna attack it now, or do we wanna wait until we get to the point where we're talking about finalization of the development?
I mean, there's still work to be done there, like the
Yeah, I was gonna say.
landscaping and
The developer still technically owns it, right?
and the cul-de-sac is not done behind Mr. Clark's home.
they haven't, the developer has, I mean, I've been there, I would say, every day weather permitting, walked the grandson through there, and I haven't seen the developer hiding a hair of him, I mean.
They letting you walk through there?
Oh, yeah. Been allowed. I've even walked through with the dog, our dog, and
Is it
they
a big
haven't
dog?
challenged it. 25 pounds, a little less than 25 pounds.
You have a scale at the entrance there, you gotta bring your
You might
dog
be the
over.
reason for the sign.
What's that?
You might be the reason for the sign.
We're gonna, but again, I don't see the developer involved at all. He doesn't seem to have any presence.
I don't know, they just, in my opinion, they shouldn't be putting signs up that,
Yeah.
like you said, they can't enforce and it's open to the public.
Yep.
And they knew that before they bought their property.
So I think we're all in agreement, these signs shouldn't be up, they should come down. It's just a question of, do we want to inform the HOA to take them down now, or do we want to wait and just tell the developer those signs have to come down before?
Before he can.
He gets certification
before he can
completion.
complete it, Yeah.
I don't know, frankly, whether he even knows some of those are up.
Right, but he is gonna want to come before us for
Well,
completion at some point, so,
All right, He'll find out.
okay, so we'll take no action at this time? Would that be the consensus?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next up, we have SEP Solar on Oxford Avenue. What's going on out there? What do we even
I
have
was
left
just
up?
waiting for grass to grow.
Is that it?
last
Is
night.
that
That
it?
was it.
Okay.
Not gonna get
So-
much grass growing this year.
Stevens Mill, there's been some activity there. I don't know if anybody's gone by there and seen, there's quite a few construction vehicles and cars parked there, and they've been going in and out of the building, and now they've delivered one of those large lull forklifts, those really big suckers. So they appear to be planning on doing something. I don't know if it's, I would guess maybe repairing that roof before winter gets here is what their priority might be right now. Because last year, it was just a tarp and the wind shredded that thing.
I don't know, what town did that end up in, I wonder?
And as of yesterday, when I spoke with the chair of conservation, he was not aware whether or not they had gotten their DEP file number yet.
They did.
They did get their DEP file number? So they're on the agenda for the next conservation meeting?
As of right now, yeah.
Okay, when is that, do you know?
September 17th.
September 17th, if anybody's interested in watching that meeting. Maybe there'll be more information forthcoming from them as to what their plans are for work to be done this year. Excuse me. Okay, solar project at the landfill. I don't think we have anything new there. Safe to say, right? Dudley Housing Authority. So, Dudley Housing Authority, Aura had the last bit of information for us on that. I think the new director of the housing, what's the name of that place?
Joshua Place.
Joshua Place, thank you. The new director of Joshua Place had sent the planning board through the conservation, had sent us an email stating that he had found documentation saying that the project was complete. The problem is the documentation he had was actually from their people saying that things were done. And the last thing I remember we talked about was that I was asking Aura to inform him that, no, we need a final peer review. And that our understanding was, even when they had issued that document that said everything was done up there, that in fact, there was a problem with
The grass.
some of the grass hadn't grown in yet. Now, I think Aura had told me that she had seen that it appears like now the grass has grown, it's grown in. So it might be just a matter of having the peer review, final peer review done. And of course,
Be nice to get that one off the docket. I mean,
I
we
would
keep
agree.
looking at-
That was Graves Engineering did that one, right?
Yeah, so
Maybe
we
we
have
can
to go to a
contact-
different,
Right.
Yeah, we had to go through somebody else.
yeah, I don't remember, yeah, so,
Either the T-
Ask Graves if they're finished with that.
okay, yeah, we could do that.
Probably be the best thing to do.
All right, so Braden, why don't you make a note? What you're gonna do is you're gonna reach out to
Mr. Walsh.
Mr. Walsh at Graves Engineering, who's normally our peer review, but in this particular case, for,
He got contracted.
yeah, for the Dudley Housing Authority project, he's actually their engineer.
Okay.
Ask him whether or not he knows if that project is completed and ready for final peer review.
And this can just be an email.
Yeah, just an email.
It's a minor thing at this point.
Okay, great. All right. Planner's plate. I'm gonna guess we have nothing.
Appear to be.
Okay. Comments from the planning board. So, I just wanted to start by asking whether or not, anybody had seen the memo from the town administrator a few weeks back about the public comments section of these meetings. He basically was saying that there's nothing in state law that says that we have to allow public comments during our meetings.
Yeah, I read through some of that.
Okay, all right, yeah, right. So basically, he's just asking us all to revisit the idea of whether or not we want to continue to have public comments. In other words, do we want to have a situation where people can come forward and speak about things that aren't on the agenda, considering that we can't take action on them because of the fact that they're not on the agenda?
Well, I work for a taxpayer, so I'll let them talk as much as they want. That's how I feel about that.
Right, I mean.
That's how I read it. I was like, I'm a tax. I
Yeah.
get,
Well,
I get voted in for them.
They don't come and tell you.
I'm sorry. Mr.
Well, they would,
How would you know if there's a problem with anybody if they didn't come and tell you?
well, they would come to the office
have
and they
to
would
be
ask
put on
Braden
the
to be placed
agenda.
on the agenda if they wanted us to take action. And that's no guarantee that we can take action. I mean, people come to us all the time. Braden has been telling me about some of the people that have been coming in and talking to him about things that are completely out of the wheelhouse of the planning board. Like deed restriction, arguments over deeds and
Okay.
rights of way and things, so.
I would say, that, we continue as we have, I'll go along with Tom. I mean, we don't get many comments.
Okay, so we,
And I mean, you can see that the chairs are all filled this evening, as far as our audience is concerned. That's as much as we typically see.
yeah, I have no problem with it, so, we don't have to take any action, we can just leave, but I just wanted to mention it because it was a directive from the town administrator to all board,
Admittedly.
chairs of all boards, saying, discuss it.
And I believe the most recent agenda for the Board of Selectmen continues to have the provision
Yeah.
for citizens' comments too.
I
So
think,
they're
I think the only difference is they put theirs like at the very beginning.
very beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
We have ours at the end, well, near the end.
I don't-
So, other than that,
Doesn't sound really significant.
We can always switch it to match theirs if we want to.
Doesn't matter.
okay, all right.
Comments from the audience.
I would ask one question if I may, Mr. Torber. Any word in terms of this joint venture with Blackstone and any applicants for the position of planner come forward, or are we still
Yeah,
looking?
yeah, no, it looks like we've actually got some applications coming in.
Really?
Okay, so they're planning on having 2 rounds of, I guess, interviews. So the first round of interviews, they're not inviting anybody from the planning board because Blackstone, because it's a joint,
Okay.
okay? So if it was all us, just us doing it, then I would see where we would have our people directly involved more. Because it's a joint deal with
Okay,
Blackstone.
yeah.
What they've decided is Blackstone's not gonna have any of their planning board present at the first round.
Okay.
So we won't have anybody from our planning board. And then their plan is, when they go through the second round, they're gonna invite the chairs of each board to attend that.
I mean, that's the best news I've heard in a long time, and we've got applicants.
Somebody actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know exactly how many, but my understanding is multiple,
Multiple?
multiple. So
Wow, they must love Blackstone.
either that or Blackstone just knew where to look, I don't know.
That is good news.
But
That's
in
very
answer to your
encouraging.
question, it looks like we've got some movement there, so
Good.
we'll go with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments from the planning board? Okay. All right, at this time, the chair will ask, are there any comments from the audience? Anyone here from the audience that wishes to speak on any items not currently on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to other business. Approve and set the next meeting date, September 17th, 2025, or October 8th, 2025. Why do we have an either or?
In case there's a A&R that comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the old rule, yeah, right,
What's the
exactly.
date of the town meeting? 17th of October or something like that?
Is it?
Trying to figure that out. I don't know. Braden, you happen to know when our town meeting is?
I do not.
That's okay, you're in good company, none of us do either.
Well, I think we don't have any articles,
No.
so we shouldn't have to meet.
Yeah, we usually,
Prior to the meeting.
Right. Traditionally, the planning board meets prior to the annual town meeting, just like the selectmen do, up there at the school
Yep.
to do final discussion before we go in and present any articles that directly involve the planning board. We have nothing, so
I
there's no,
always thought we just met because we met a quorum that day. Because all of us show up, technically it's a quorum or something, right? That's why we only had like 2 things on the list all the time.
I think you can go to a town meeting, I mean, like,
Not be
Yeah.
a quorum,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean,
because
we're
as long as we don't discuss,
not gonna be discussing or voting
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
yeah.
We have no business to act upon, so that I mean, like,
yeah. 4 of us can meet in the parking lot and talk all we want, as long as we don't discuss planning board business.
Alright,
I mean, just as an example, to your.
All right, so as it is, we haven't anything that would be
Right.
pending anyway, so.
So we'll be setting the meeting date of September 17th as a tentative date in case we get any A&Rs that come in shortly after tonight's meeting and aren't going to be able to wait until October 8th. And October 8th will be our regularly scheduled meeting unless anybody has any issues with those 2 dates. I think I'm available for both of those. All right. Approval of consultant vouchers and payment of bills. Do we have anything?
I don't see anything.
So, yeah, so I'm gonna,
I've taken care of those, because you guys gave me the power to sign off on those last meeting. So we don't
well,
have to-
no.
No, you still gotta vote on them, and then.
We have to approve the vouchers,
Okay,
and then you get to sign off on them.
yeah, okay. It
So what did you sign off on?
was a Graves invoice, and maybe a couple of Graves invoices, actually. So
Well, we did approve a Graves. We-
Yeah, last meeting, there was another one that came in, a couple days ago.
Yeah, for the
I can get those
report,
from,
Which one?
for the report on Truman
Truman
Drive.
Drive.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't have a
They
problem
had two
with
site
that.
visits on that one.
Yeah.
okay, well,
So, yeah, I don't think we would have, we got the report, so obviously,
yeah, it's,
the man has the right to get paid for the work. And it's coming out of the account for that developer.
Need a motion to post.
I was just gonna say, looking at going back to the date, sorry, but September 17th is a week from today. And we wouldn't have a meeting on the 17th, we would have it on the 24th.
Good call.
Oh, so that's a typo?
Yep.
that's the, conservation committee meeting.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
if we have a next meeting in September, it would be on the 24th.
okay, so, backing up one item, other business, approve and set the next meeting date. We're gonna have a tentative date of September 24th if we get any A&Rs in within the next week or so. And if not, we'll be canceling that, and we will have our regularly scheduled meeting on October 8th.
We don't need a motion to approve that, do we? Just general consensus?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think so.
That suffice.
Yeah, okay, then we were on to approval of consultant vouchers and payment of bills. I think we just squared that away.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I guess at this point is where I wanted to bring up, we've got a, I apologize. If there's no, if nobody has a problem with it, could we skip back to comments from the planning board? I did have something I wanted to discuss tonight, and I forgot about it. So, the reason why is, I don't know if you guys recall, but at the last meeting, we had the presentation on the ADUs. And we had talked about that, we were going to have the ADU discussion as a recurring item on the agenda.
That didn't come up.
And Braden, when he sent me the agenda and I reviewed it, I totally forgot about it.
Okay.
So he didn't catch it, I didn't catch it. So I had told him tonight, I said, hey, we'll just talk about it under,
Is this what the handout?
so I printed this out.
Okay.
Because we had talked about that if anybody had any ideas or anything that they wanted to add, they could send it to Braden, and then we would talk about it during that time at the next meeting. My understanding is that Braden hadn't received anything, but I did get an email from Richard. You and I both got that email because you're so close with CMRPC. You saw, I don't know if you saw it yet, because it
I
just.
did see it,
It
yeah.
just came in, right.
From Jane.
Right, so Jane's already like, hey, you got any news for me? So I told her, I said, it's funny you should say that. We didn't have any discussion about it. And I said, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together a little bullet point thing, and I figure we'll just try and hash out some of the preliminaries tonight and report back to her. So these are the key points. These are the items that, based on her presentation she gave us and the explanation she gave us, things that we can control regarding ADUs. In other words, the state has made it clear that ADUs are gonna be allowed now. And it's gonna be a matter of, well, you're gonna have to allow one ADU on any lots that are zoned for single-family residential use. And it doesn't matter even if it's a two-family on that lot, if it's in a zone that's single-family residential, the ADU is allowed by right. So the next question becomes, what are the things that we can control? So one of the items we can control is we can control whether or not an ADU can be used as a short-term rental. My recollection of our discussion that night was that I believe, I can't speak for Mr. Durgan because he's not present, but I believe we pretty much unanimously agreed that we don't believe ADUs should be allowed to be used for short-term rentals.
Right.
Would we pretty much, is that still a consensus?
Right.
Tom, do you?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
doesn't solve the housing issue.
Right,
Because
it
it
does.
just creates more Airbnbs.
Right,
This apparently.
Well, I looked
Right.
at this at the state website. What's the difference between this and 55 and plus? those are small houses. There really is no difference.
Right,
You-
but that was actually one of the rules that they said, we can't force people to do ADUs and say, you have to make it for,
55 and older.
or moderate
55
income.
and older, but it
You
says
can't make it 55 and older, you can't make it moderate income, you can't stipulate those kind of things, but you can stipulate if it's a short-term rental. So I'm going to, we'll go through this, and if we come to a consensus on these questions,
You can give it to.
I'm gonna give it to Jane.
Yep.
And tell her, this is what we feel, and this is what we think you should go along these guidelines when crafting our bylaw,
And see how it goes.
and see how it goes. And then if she says, well, that'll pass muster with everything from from the state level,
We're good.
we're good, and then we have the public hearing and go through the process.
I think we're all in agreement then that
Okay.
no short-term rental.
So the next one is limit the number of ADUs per lot. So we have to allow one. So the question, and number 2 and number 3, site plan review, they kind of, in my mind, they dovetail together. Because we kind of talked about, it's like, well, maybe we would allow more than one ADU on a lot if
You could
we
have-
were able to make them subject to site plan review. To Tom's point, you might have a lot that is really large and could easily accommodate 2 ADUs. But then you might have somebody else that has we can't just make it blanket and say, we'll allow 2 ADUs on every lot, because you might have somebody come in with a 15,000 square foot lot.
Yeah, and they wanna put 20 houses on it.
Yeah, or whatever,
And in
right.
the state, it doesn't say that, you
So
can't
we've
do
got to
that.
put, we've got to put a limit on the max. And then we also, in my mind, I was thinking, we could make it that you could have one ADU by right, which is what the state's gonna make us do anyways, and then any additional ADU would be special permit.
Well, your house is 3,000 square feet and you're allowed, what, 3, I think? 900 square feet?
No, because the
Times
max
three.
is, I think it's 750?
It's the square footage of the property.
Plus your house square footage.
It's half of the square footage of the main house, or
Yeah.
100 square feet.
900 square feet, whichever
900
is
square
lower.
feet.
Yeah.
So if you've got a 3,000 square foot house, you can't put a 1,500 square foot ADU in.
No, you can.
You're
only
capped
put
at 900.
Yep.
And if you
Yeah,
get
not-
if you get a 1,200 square foot house, you can only put a 600 square foot ADU.
Yeah.
So that's already covered by the state.
Yeah,
They're regulating
I was
that
reading
for us.
through that.
Yeah, so we're good. They're covering that for us.
There's actually a couple of people that were interested in doing this.
So,
already.
I don't, sure, I mean, if you're an empty nester, I mean, if you've got kids that are growing up and have a growing family,
Yeah.
you could literally, you could put an ADU on your property, move into that,
We'll let
Give
them
them
have
the
and let them
house.
have your house.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Or you might have a kid who's in college locally, and he wants his own place, but he can't afford it. You could do an ADU and he could
Move in.
move into that, get out of your house. So it makes great sense. So what is the board thinking? I guess the first question would be, we must have an idea, there must be a max number. Like Tom said, we don't want somebody coming in and saying they're gonna put 10 ADUs on, so.
I would say limit it to 1, and then for your number 3 option, we start discussing 2, 3, or more at that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah, but it'd be per lot size, so if somebody has a bigger lot,
Right, now, that's why we would do the site plan.
Yeah,
that's,
My
that's
thought-
when those things come into
My thought
consideration.
was limit it to 2, but make them, they get 1 automatically by the state. You can't-
Okay.
You can't deny that.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
You put the limit, the number of ADUs per lot, you put it at 2, and you make the second one go through a site plan review, and then if somebody came in
Second or more.
second or more,
I
yeah,
don't know, I would limit this by lot size. Cause you're gonna ask 2 and then they're gonna have a tiny lot and then they're gonna have a house behind.
I'll tell you what the
somebody
problem
else's
with
house.
I'll tell you
know
what my-
I mean?
I'll tell you what my concern with lot size is. If you strictly go by lot size, it doesn't take into account the shape of the lot.
Yeah,
In other
no.
words, I've seen lots that were an acre, which sounds pretty good, until you look at
Yeah.
if it's a long skinny lot.
And if your house is in the middle, or
Right.
if you're losing backyard, or,
In Dudley, they have in Res 10, in Business 15, you can do a 3-family by right. So if you can do a 3-family in a Res 10 or Business 15, and you can add an ADU to it by right, that means you could have 4 units on a 10,000 square foot lot,
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody has a 15,000 square foot lot, they can only do 2 units.
Right. So if we don't limit it by lot size, but we limit it strictly on the site plan review process, then when they come in for the site plan review,
I mean,
Yeah, but
Those
they're
issues
gonna
can be
say, you guys
considered.
allowed 2, I get 2.
I would be
Then
willing to
that
give a
won't
waiver if
happen.
somebody
Oh,
came
wait,
in, if
well-
somebody came in with a 1 acre
You're gonna
lot.
give
and
them
it's
one.
3, I'd be willing to give them a waiver for the third.
what are you saying? We allow one, because we can't stop it
Can't
anyways.
stop it.
If you want to put a second one on, site plan review. If you want to put a third one on, site plan review.
Yeah, probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right. So what we're saying is, we're gonna do one by right, which is, goes without saying. So we are gonna limit the number of ADUs per lot, well, or are we? I mean, we probably,
Each one would be, it's under consideration, given the specifics that are involved, I would think.
Right.
You can put a cap at 3. I mean, like,
okay,
how many would you really want? Would you want somebody putting 5 in it?
No,
On a 1
no.
acre
But if
lot?
you have 3 kids, you wanna build them 3 little houses in the backyard.
so what,
Well,
You
here's
know
an
what I
idea.
mean?
if that happens, let them come for it and ask for a waiver.
Why don't we,
Yeah, but then how do we reject them?
why don't we cap it at,
You-
why don't we cap it at 3?
They may,
And anything over 1 is site plan review.
Yeah.
So you want to do 1,
that's
By
it.
right.
you're good to go,
Yeah.
by right. You want to do 2, come in for a site plan review. You want to do a third, come in for site plan review. You want to do a 4th, you can't do it.
Or you go and ask for a waiver. You go to the ZBA and ask for a waiver.
Yeah, and probably would never be granted unless it was some extraordinary situation where they had like a huge,
Yeah,
they
but
could
like
have a
she
5
said,
acre
as long
lot.
as you meet your setbacks, you're allowed to do it.
They could have- If they had a 5 acre lot and they wanted to go get a waiver?
Tom, say that again.
Like the lady that was here, she-
Yeah.
as long as you meet your setbacks, you can do.
That's for the
as
first
many
one. That's for the first
you
one.
want.
But that's only for the first one.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard to control. They're gonna be like, no, I fit
No,
on my
not, that's why,
property.
that's why we're crafting a bylaw. We are gonna control it. We're basically saying, you could do the first one, but if you wanna do the second and the third one, you've gotta come for site plan review. That's our control. We literally are controlling it.
It's the only way you could control it.
I'd say 3 max and then see where it falls.
How does everybody feel about 3 max and then anything after 1 requiring site plan review?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, first one's free. The other
This
ones
one you
are-
gotta have.
Okay. All right, so we are going to limit the number of ADUs per lot at 3 max. And numbers 2 and 3 will require site plan review. Is that, yeah, that's basically what we just said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the next one, site plan review, we just said that. If yes, what triggers a site plan review? Numbers 2 and 3. Okay? And then last, limit the number of curb cuts. So we can either say, look, you can't have an additional curb cut for your ADUs, you have to come off the same existing driveway. Or we could say, yes, you can do an additional curb cut, and then I made a note here, if yes, do we say, by right, we're gonna let you do an additional curb cut? Or do we wanna say by special permit? Because
Special permit.
typically the ZBA,
So according to our zoning laws right now, you can have 2 curb cuts by right per lot.
right,
And that's a given. So why wouldn't we just let the 2 curb cuts by right stand?
okay.
And then if you want a third or more, it's gotta go through site plan review.
Sounds good.
Okay, so,
Two by right.
limit curb cuts,
2 by right,
2 by right,
3 or more, site plan review.
3 or more. Site plan review, okay?
Because you're gonna, when you start having 3 curb cuts on one piece of property, you're gonna have to figure out like the traffic flow and lines of sight and all this stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
It's like
it's a little crazy.
And as far as the 2 by right go, I'm just gonna make a
They're gonna have
note
one
that that's in
That's right.
conformance with our current,
Bylaws.
yeah. Current bylaw,
Thank you, Mr. Horn.
allow. Okay. All right, so does anybody else have anything else they wanna add about the ADUs? Because that's all I had.
I think those were the big topics that she
Right,
was looking for
yeah.
input on.
All right, so I'm going to, I'll type this up in an email and I'll send it over to Jane. let her know that this is what our general feeling is about the ADUs.
And is she gonna allow ADUs like a 55 and plus community, like what she had written in her paperwork? Small housing community.
Well, I think that would fall under like, the one that we currently have with Country Club Acres,
Yeah.
that's under open space residential subdivisions.
So that's kind of like a different animal, really.
Yeah, I mean, like 80, you know, you can't, I don't think you can put a stipulation on the age for an ADU. It's gotta be open to everybody.
Yeah, so what can't towns restrict? You can't require owner occupancy, you can't restrict occupancy to a certain age group.
Exactly.
You can't require units to be designated as affordable housing.
Yep.
You cannot require more than one parking space for the ADU, so when we do our site plan reviews, we'll keep that in mind.
Yep.
And you cannot require approval of a special permit for a protected use ADU, which she'll have to hash that out. That's one of the things I think she was talking about, that she was looking at, the state rules again, whether or not, if we want to do what we want to do here, can we do it? Right. So, all right, I think that takes care of that, so I apologize for deviation from the agenda. We'll go back to where we left off.
Other town notices, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, we were at other town notices. Okay, nothing there. Other correspondence. So, everyone may recall that we had approved the special permit for the cellular tower,
Schofield Ave?
Carroll Drive. Well,
Oh, Carroll
yeah,
Road, yeah,
right.
okay.
So, it took a while for us to get the decision drafted. We had a final decision put together, and we signed that decision at last month's meeting. The day after the decision was signed, our clerk had asked me what the next step would be. I explained to him that the decision would need to be brought to the town clerk, and the town clerk would record receipt of that, and that would start the 20-day appeal period. If there were no appeals that came in within that 20-day period, within that period, then the clerk would issue a letter stating such. That would allow the applicant to draw their building permit. The applicant's attorney called this week, since 20 days has elapsed, and was requesting that, and was informed from the town clerk that the town clerk has no record of receipt of our decision. So, Braden and I had a long discussion about this today. I spoke with the town clerk. We're not exactly sure how, but somehow there's no record of it being accepted. The only resolution that I can think of at this point is we've printed out another copy of the decision, and we could sign it tonight, and Braden will bring it to the clerk.
It wasn't on in the last meeting's videotape that we voted and signed it?
No, we signed it after the meeting.
Oh,
And actually, it doesn't matter,
As long
because
as
of the
it-
fact that what starts the 20-day clock officially
is when you give it to the town clerk.
is when we give it to the town clerk. So even if, to your point, Tom, or. I
It was
forget-
still signed.
If Braden or someone found it today, but it wasn't stamped by the clerk as being accepted, the best we could do is take it to the clerk now,
And then the 20.
and then the 20 days starts. So I reached out to the attorney for the applicant, explained the situation. She's going to pass that on to the applicant,
So they're gonna be
the
upset.
company. They're gonna be upset, but at this point, the only resolution I can think of is, we sign a new one tonight, Braden will bring it to the clerk tomorrow,
It'll get stamped.
the clerk will stamp it, and then I actually even printed out a cheat sheet for Braden. So, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna sign it tonight, and then after we sign it tonight, Braden's gonna bring it to the clerk tomorrow. He's gonna have her stamp it. Once she stamps it, he's gonna ask her for a copy of the stamped and received decision.
Okay. Verified.
And then he's going to email a copy of that to the attorney for the applicant, so she has it on file, and she'll know exactly that the 20 days have started,
20 days, yeah.
and we'll go from there. And when we're done, I'm gonna give you this, because it's got her email address and everything on it. So that'll be your reminder, exactly, so there'll be no question of when it was presented, when it was anything, okay?
So do you actually have the copy that we need to sign tonight?
Right.
He does. So,
What happened to the original signed copy?
that's what we don't know.
Just
I brought it to the
disappeared?
clerk's office and
I guess some big mice in Dudley, I don't know, maybe they made off with it.
Probably into somebody's desk.
It probably is, yeah.
I guess there was an ultimate.
Somebody who wasn't expecting it, doesn't know what to do with it.
This was literally like a month ago, so I don't, recall exactly what happened. I remember being in the office, Braden asking me the question, and me saying, oh, yeah, you need to bring that down to
And a
the
lot of
clerk.
paper that's floated around here in the last month, I'm sure.
Yeah. And apparently, even though Mr. Durgan's not here, he doesn't have to sign, because we've got 4 out of 5 members.
Well, it was passed unanimously, so we still have record
Yeah,
of the vote
but
anyway.
just wanted to make sure, in case anybody wondered, does this delay it? It doesn't.
Why not?
I'm gonna fill in the decision was made and everything on here.
Oh, the date?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put in today's date.
We're gonna put it for today?
We're gonna put it for today, because it doesn't make sense to backdate it, because it doesn't matter, because the clock's not gonna start till tomorrow
Yeah, but this
anyways.
says it was in August, and we're in September.
Let me see.
August 13th.
Read the top line right above our signatures.
The decision was made on blank, 2025, and filed with the town clerk on August. It wasn't filed with the town clerk on August.
Strike it out, right?
If I
September.
strike this and I put September and I initial it,
Yep,
okay.
that'll work.
Okay. Today is the 10th,
Today's the 10th.
so I'm gonna put filed with town clerk on September 11th. And the decision was made today. 9/10. I just filled this in after you guys signed it. Did anybody have a problem with that?
I may pass it
It's on
back.
public television.
Okay, all right. Actually,
Hand delivered.
hand this to him right now.
Here we go, UPS.
All right, Braden. Guard that with your life.
Thank you.
first thing I do tomorrow.
And don't bring any other documents, just that. Like, look what I got.
This is it, this is it. Mr. Chairman, if it's in order, I would make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.